Hello, everyone. This is Jasmine, aka Gladiatorinsweats, and I'm here with a collective reading for today, August 1st, 2018. So, happy Wednesday, as well as a happy August to everyone. It's a whole new month, a whole new roll into things, if you will. Always like the feeling of new beginnings, so I always like to celebrate beginnings in any way or fashion that I can. I guess I love cycles, so I guess it's always nice to get that like refreshing like feel of something new. And I feel like that even kind of taps into the feeling of today, just tapping into the cards. So the galactic signature for today is the blue rhythmic eagle. And with that, already for me brings this heavy, like third eye chakra emphasis, if you want to work with the chakra system, of us really bringing further focus to the bigger picture of things, of seeing the bigger focus and value of the whole story that's at play. The card that I did pull today for the tarot or oracle was the Eight of Cups, emotional withdrawal. Bottom of the deck was this, I believe this is Five of Swords. Or Five of Wands. It doesn't really matter too much. It's conflict and defeat. I keep telling you guys how confused I get with these colors. They don't really resonate to me with the suits, but I digress. With the bottom three, we do have underneath this conflict and defeat, shadow, and the third eye chakra card. So there is this I feel this heavy emphasis on us really being able to look at our seeming defeats and our apparent conflicts as kind of seeing the other side of them. With this emotional withdrawal, I actually see this as us actually being able to not get caught up in the current of our emotions, and allowing ourselves to kind of ground and allowing ourselves to recenter ourselves so that we can bring some sort of clarity, so that we're able to see things from a higher perspective. We're able to really we're able to feel our emotions, but it's not like we're so much drowning in it. We're not so much just throwing ourselves into it and just allowing ourselves to get all washed up in it and allow ourselves to get caught up in the belief that we have, or not necessarily that we have no control, but that things are so chaotic and that things are going to just be perilous, you know? So, even underneath all that is this patience card. So, this did come up, I think last week pretty heavily, of us really being in this process of growth. It's a very tender process. It takes time, or I don't even necessarily just say it takes time, but that it takes. It's a complex process, but that it's a natural process. I guess that's the feeling that I want to emphasize, is that there's a divine kind of process to this, and it's about kind of recognizing that, kind of paying attention to and noticing these processes and not getting swept up in what feels like loss, or what feels like, the complete crumbling of what we may feel in the moment as, what we desire. I was gonna say that would be it, but actually there's something else I did want to talk about today. I believe it's pronounced Lamas or Lamas. Either way, I believe it's Lamas. It's this day that is celebrated, I believe, in the the pagan tradition. But I thought it was really interesting that it really represented this day of celebrating like our first harvest, or celebrating the abundance of life, and celebrating all that is, growing, and all that is, in the process in our lives. Not just that, but since there is this very beautiful synchronicity between so many different traditions and belief systems and modalities, I just thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about this day. So I believe it's technically translated to Feast of Bread. And so you can even just think of that as the breaking of bread, when you're sharing of your abundance with people, whether material or it's in a spiritual or more mental, when you're sharing your space with other people, when you're sharing your hospitality, you're sharing your love with other people. As I said, there's stopping to appreciate the things that are important in life, the things that are abundant and flourishing in our lives. And just celebrating for me, whenever I do think about abundance and I think about harvest, I also just think about the earth. And I think it would be just a beautiful time to just take another moment to just remember the abundance that is of the earth, to remember that not only does she take care of us, but it is also, a part of us to take care of her. And there's also there's a symbiotic relationship where, through our taking care of, or not even necessarily our taking care of, but through our co-creation and cohabitation, through a healthy cohabitation, there's a beautiful cycle, and there's a beautiful growth and process of abundance and of just of love. Like, when you think of just love being real, everything around us that is living, when we think of not just animals, when we think of the plants, we think of all that is of the earth as like ourselves. But not to get off on a tangent, this, for me, it makes me think of the Queen of Pentacles. That for whatever reason, that image popped into my mind when I was taking notes. And it made me think of this relation to this like pregnant mother archetype of being ripe, of being ready to just burst with our, not necessarily inspiration, but the manifestation of our inspiration, of our love. And it's almost what I feel is inspiration and love. The synthesis of that, like this water and sun alchemy, being present in abundance, I feel is the underlying theme of this celebration, of just really taking in the joy of giving and receiving, of that balance, that give and take. I feel, again, this resonates heavy with this blue rhythmic eagle galactic signature that this day carries. Not just that, but of us also being still in this deep healing and transformation process. I just feel today it carries this frequency of Leo, and of this number 8. Even I wrote these notes maybe a week or so ago, and I even pulled this 8 of Cups. And again, I feel like there's this balance with this energy with the cards here, but also with this energy that I feel today of us really, I feel just an opportunity to allow ourselves to just fall into synchronicity with the natural order, the divine order of life. But it's not just of life, I guess the way I want people to kind of see things, as opposed to seeing it as something outside of themselves, is the divine order of the way that we really plan things. It's really kind of us really waking up to our plan, if you wanted to look at it that way. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it with that. I've just been taking a few days off here and there. So I didn't necessarily want to call it the daily tarot messages, even though I guess it still technically is. I want to get into the habit of at least posting on Instagram or something, even if I don't have the time to make a video. But regardless, I'm not trying to put that kind of pressure on myself. So I'm just taking it easy because, we're all going through these processes of really kind of falling back into whatever our new balance feels like. Well, it feels new to us, but it's really like, I feel like people are really trying to figure out, what really works for them, what actually, through these feelings of loss or through, these trying to go for things and maybe taking some L's or, not getting things or receiving things the way you may have wished they were, trying to really kind of see the silver lining. I don't really like being cliche, but it's funny how much truth and how much wisdom is really hidden in our cliches, that so much so that we've said them so much that we really have looked past what the real true meaning of it is. And so I just want to leave that at that. Feel free, of course, to check out any of the previous content that I've put out recently. Feel free to also follow me on Instagram. I'm also working on putting out some new readings, or I don't even want to call them readings. I've been kind of calling them sessions, and after having some thought and even having received a lot of clarity, I really am leaning toward calling them sessions, because I don't even really consider my readings, I guess the connotation or what comes to mind when you think of a reading, it's like I'm coming and I'm going to get my cards read, and it's like what they gave me is like that's that, and it's very static, and it's not at all static. And I don't want to ever give anyone that's new to tarot the impression that it's like a fortune telling, like I'm telling you what's going to happen and that's it, and whatever, that kind of old feeling or knowing about it. But I also just don't want to I guess I also want to kind of give the premise that it's more of a counseling, if you will, more of a one-on-one, really getting to if you want to talk about it, or not even necessarily talk about it, because I don't necessarily want to get wrapped up in the facts or the minutia of what's going on. I really focus on what is the situation or the circumstances or whatever. What is it trying to show you, or whatever messages are just most trying to come through at that moment, and really trying to bring the focus back to a self-awareness. Because as if you've been watching any of my videos, that's kind of what I feel has been the focus, and that's also just the messages I feel have been coming to me is about even the word balance, I guess, I'm kind of even getting tired of saying, but just helping people just break out of all the boxes, helping people break out of the boxes and all of these things that we feel are so static and stuck in one direction, moving in one, not even one direction. It's really moving in one spot over and over and over again. And even this energy has said, like I said, as of today, really kind of taking that backseat kind of view of really being okay, I'm really seeing where things are going. It's not where you're not feeling things, you're still feeling it, but it's not so much to where you're immediately reacting and then attaching a story and then falling back into that spiral again of really almost trying to breaking. It's almost like breaking in the cycle, so you're able to take a pause and able to go a different direction. And the longer this repetitive cycle has been going, it's almost the harder that break has to be. And so That's why there can be so much emphasis on meditation, on bringing your awareness back to the present, bringing your awareness back to not focusing on what happened in the past or even what you need to do in the future. Just making mindfulness a daily practice. So I keep saying I'm supposed to be all, and I guess that's just kind of my thing, to say I'm done and then I keep going. So I'm just going to end it there. I hope you guys are having a decent week. I hope that this reaches you all well. And as always, I send you my love. I wish you all many, many blessings. And, you know, as always, you win or you learn. You never, ever lose. So, you know, it's time to shift our paradigm. It's time to really shift our minds, to really not even just look at ourselves as the victor, but realize ourselves as the victors, as the witness to our victory, as opposed to victims. So, again, I send you guys all my love. So, until next time.